In life, they tell us there's two roads in life. Mikanan, we call it. That first road, Minupi Matizin, we call it, the good life. This is that road we walk when we're practicing those 7 sacred teachings: love, respect, honesty, humility, courage, wisdom, and truth. When we walk those teachings, that's that road we walk. That other road over here, we call that one Machimikana, the bad road. This is that road we walk when we're doing alcohol abuse, drug abuse, family violence, lying, stealing, cheating, all those kinds of things. That's that road that we're walking. When we do those, they tell us. But again, those old people, they always remind us, just as there's teachings on that road, there's also teachings on that road too. That alcohol, for example, that's a medicine, they tell us. That cocaine, that's a medicine. That heroin, that's a medicine. Anything that comes from Mother Earth is a medicine. But what happens when we don't respect something? It can come back to hurt us. And that's what we see today in our families, in our communities, and is that people haven't respected those medicines the way they're supposed to.
She said just not try to pull the roots. Yeah, I think that's fine. It's gonna dry up.
So they could still use it when some are dead?
Yeah, because it dries out.
Yeah, it's all gonna, we're gonna hang it like this and then it's gonna dry.
Dry?
And sage is to, we smudge with sage every morning and we pray to the Creator. Sage is to clean, you smudge your eyes so you see good things of others, your mouth so that you're saying good things, you smudge your ears so you're hearing good things, so that you're pretty much starting the day off fresh and clean and you know, just a new beginning almost every day. Each class goes and picks their own, and we use it throughout the whole year, so that at the end of the year, if there's a little bit left, we give that to our elder, but we use that for our own personal, for each classroom's personal use all through the year, just so they have a fresh start every day. If they might be having a bad day, you know, they come in and they smudge and then they feel better and then they can go about their day, kind of. Some students have that teaching, some don't. Some are only learning it now. We like to teach and let them take what they want. If they don't want to carry this on with their children, that's their choice as well. But we like to offer it to them and explain it to them. Many students took sage home for them, for their families, so they can teach their families. And a lot of them have been telling me that they're sharing everything they've learned here with their families at home, and they're hoping it continues on. To wear a skirt is a form of respect to Mother Earth, to let her know that that it's the women that we're here to, you know, take the blessing that she's given us for the medicines that we need to get through every day, every year. So it's a respect for Mother Earth that we wear the skirts. Yeah.
Watch this out there. Oh my gosh. Right on the scissors.
Is that small enough?
Yeah.
Really?
My sister can do that.
I learned thyroid. I never
The thyroid.
Let me use what? Mohawk matches. Mohawk matches. Those old people, they tell us life begins right here. And that's these first 9 grandfathers that are right here. That first 9 months when we're in our mother's womb. These first 7 grandfathers, that first stage of life, that childhood stage. But again, those old people, they don't call it that. They call this one that stage of great learning. Because everything we learn over here prepares us the rest of that way. I was reading this book many years ago. Everything you wanted to know about life you learned in kindergarten. Made a lot of sense, this book in that. Because this is where we learn to be in relationship, to problem solve, to socialize. All those things that we learn over here prepares us the rest of that way. But again, long time ago, those old people, they tell us in that. There was teachings here, right from here. There was teachings there for those little boys. There was teachings there for those little girls. So that by the time they got over here, they knew what was in stock for them over here. They knew all those things in that. Right from that first breath. That adolescent stage, that teenage years. But again, those old people, they don't call it that. This one here, they call this one the fast life. When we get over here around 12, 13, 14, we want to be over there. Can't tell me what to do anymore, right? Don't worry about it. I'll pick my own friends. Don't worry about it. I'll go to bed when I want. I'll wake up. Don't worry about it. Over 100 years ago, that child was at the center of all life. Those parents had a relationship to that child. Those grandparents had a relationship to that child. Those aunts, those uncles had a relationship to that child. Those cousins had a relationship to that child. The community had a relationship to that child. And in return, that child had a relationship with each of them. But 100 years ago, the churches, they came to our communities. They took that child from that circle and they put that child in that square institution they called a residential school. And right from day one, they started to peel away from that child those relationships that that child had. And after 3 years, 5 years, 9 years of peeling away from that child all those relationships, okay, go back now. Go back now.
The Sweat Lodge was given to Aboriginal people from what I heard from hanging around sweats, you know, around a very confused time within our people, and the ceremony in and of itself, you know, has a lot of teachings, a lot of explanation as to why the sweat is the way it is. And it was believed it was started by a quest by a young boy who seen his people suffering and walked and looked for answers and was eventually told that the answers were right in front of him. And that meant, you know, that the people had the answer to the issue and suffering that we were going through. From that grew this ceremony called the sweat. And again, I don't know when it started or how long it's been around, but it's been around for a long, long time. You know, throughout North America, sweats are done as far south as New Mexico and as far north as the Arctic. And people all do it within a different way. The teachings are a little bit different in each of how it's made and the ceremony you do within that sweat. But it's all put together to heal your mind, body, and spirit. When you go into the sweat, the belief is you're going to the womb of your mother, and you crawl into the sweat, and you, as respect, you know, for that spirit or those spirits, those rocks that they heat up in the fire, we call them grandfathers, and our belief is that, you know, they've been here so long, you know, they've been around so long that when they go into that sweat lodge, after they're heated, they give their spirit up to us to cleanse us. When we go into that sweat, it's completely dark. You don't see a face, you don't see a color, you don't see a person for what they are, but rather it's complete blackness. So we're all equal. And we all get to share our stories, our lives, our suffering, our pain, and our goals, what we want to be and how we want to be. So that sweat is seen as medicine, as the way in which we heal as a people. And if you see it and you know, see the shape of it, it's shaped like a dome. It represents a pregnant mom, and we go in there and we come out reborn, if you want to call it that, a rebirth of who we are.
That adult stage, that adult stage, again, those old people, they don't call it that. That one there, they call that one that stage of great responsibility. Because in life, when we get over here somewhere, that's when we come together with that other person. But with that comes responsibility. After a while, we'll walk like that, things are going pretty good. Then we invite that life. Next thing we know, we got that little bundle in front of us. Totally dependent upon us to nurture it, to protect it, to feed it, to clothe it. Our responsibility, lots of responsibility. But that's what they call that one, that stage of great responsibility. Because we learn all those things over here so that we can become responsible. There was teachings there all along the way. That elder stage, that last stage of life, again, those old people, they don't call it that. They call that one that stage of great wisdom. Because when we think about it, we've traveled all the way from here and all those different experiences that we've had along that way. By the time we get over here, we have that wealth of knowledge. So now we become the teachers. It's our responsibility to pass that on, that knowledge and that. What happened in her journey? Why? Night after night, she has to stand in that dark corner and allow those men to come and abuse her body in that way. I forget. And part of why I share this story is to remind all of us, before we judge one another, that we need to get to know each other. And to see where it is that that person is coming from, what's happening in their journey that has made them into who they are. We can go through life in two different ways. One, poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me. We can choose to walk our life in that way. Or we can choose to walk our life and do something about it. It's a choice.